What's up, everyone? Justin here, back with a new fantasy booking show. Love doing fantasy booking shows. I've always loved booking wrestling. This is my fantasy booking for the NXT Women's Division at the end of 2020 and into 2021. Fantasy booking of the NXT Women's Division. Again, for the end of 2020 and 2021. Up first, let's start first week of December. We had War Games, Takeover War Games. I fantasy booked War Games because why the hell not? This is the final, and this starts off the final NXT TV before War Games, where we have a tag team matchup. It's Team Shotzi Blackheart. She is one of the team captains in War Games and Candice's other team captain, so I took that idea from real life. Shotzi in a 6-woman tag. But this is again before War Games Takeover. Shotzi Blackheart, Io Shirai, Toni Storm in a 6-woman tag up against Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and Aaliyah. And Team Shotzi, Toni Storm, Io win the 6-woman's tag, and then after it, a giant brawl breaks out between all the women. Now let's go to NXT TakeOver War Games 2020. The Women's War Games. Team Shotzi is Shotzi Blackheart. Toni Storm, Io Shirai. Ember Moon is Team Shotzi. In real life, Toni Storm turned heel. I don't got a problem with it, but I'm fantasy booking and I like Toni Storm better as a babyface. I think she's a babyface for life. Heel or face, I'm never gonna boo her. I'm a big fan of Toni Storm. I just see her as a babyface. So Shotzi, Toni Storm, Io Shirai, Ember Moon on Team Shotzi, Team Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, Raquel Gonzalez, and a mystery woman. She comes out. She has a ghost face mask on, takes it off. Who is it? The mystery woman to be added to Team Candice as a 4th member is Victoria. Victoria, former diva, former women's champion, former knockouts champion. Victoria is the 4th woman of the mystery woman of Team Candice. As I said, she had the ghost face mask on, took it off. It was Victoria, not Indy Hartwell. Even though I'm going to give Indy Hartwell a shout out, I think she's very good. So the War Games women's match, you have Shotzi in it. Get busted open. Shotzi bleeds, Candice bleeds, and the finish is win. Shotzi puts Candice on a table, climbs up to the top of the cage, and does a backsplash through Candice, through the table for the 1-2-3. Team Shotzi wins. Team Shotzi wins War Games. So now let's go to January 2021. January, the first week of January, NXT TV, where we have a number 1 contenders women's gauntlet matchup where I got, let's see how many women here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 women. 6 or whatever it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women in a number 1 contender women's gauntlet. 6 women get a chance, an opportunity to become the number 1 contender for Io Shirai's title. Up out first to run the women's gauntlet. Can she survive? Can she defeat 5 other women? Up first is Shotzi Blackheart out first in the women's gauntlet. Out next to face Shotzi to kick off the women's #1 contenders gauntlet. This, by the way, would be the main event of NXT TV for the first NXT of January 2020. The first NXT of the new year. This women's #1 contenders gauntlet would be the main event. And I would have it go like at least 45 minutes. Or about 50 minutes. So Shotzi, Indy Hartwell kick it off. Shotzi wins. Indy Hartwell's gone. Out next, Candice LeRae and Shotzi. Candice is fresh, but still I got Shotzi Blackheart winning and defeats Candice. Out next is Ember Moon, the 4th woman in the gauntlet. Ember Moon is fresh still. I got Shotzi Blackheart winning. There's a reason I'm wearing this green hat. I'm a big fan of Shotzi. I love her style, her personality. I just love everything about Shotzi. So Shotzi defeats Ember Moon. Out next, Toni Storm and Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi wins, defeats Toni Storm, the final woman in the women's gauntlet. Dakota Kai and Shotzi. It's down to Dakota Kai, Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi's been through 5 matches already and 5 victories. Who wins the women's #1 contenders women's gauntlet to go become the #1 contender to face Io? Who is it? Shotzi or Dakota? I love Dakota personally in real life, but I got a book. Shotzi Blackheart wins, and Shotzi goes over Dakota Kai. Shotzi Blackheart wins the #1 contenders women's gauntlet match. She's a new #1 contender to face Io at a takeover before WrestleMania or at Takeover Mania. By the way, I'll give you a preview of my part 2 of the fantasy booking, the NXT women's division. In part 2, the takeover before WrestleMania is called NXT Takeover Mania. Takeover, or NXT Takeover Mania. That's what the takeover is called before WrestleMania. So I just gave you a little small spoiler for part 2. That's the name of the takeover before Mania. Takeover Mania. I think it's a good name. So now let's go to the 4th week. The 4th week in January 2021 NXT TV. Shotzi Blackheart is she's on the mic. She's cutting a promo in the ring. She gets attacked from behind and busted open with brass knuckles. Busted open. Shotzi's busted open by Candice LeRae. And Candice leaves the brass knuckles in the ring. She's up on the stage. Shotzi's bleeding. Pretty much. Some of the blood's dripping out of her head onto the mat. Shotzi gets up on her feet still because she's a ballsy fucking badass. So Shotzi gets on the mic. Candice is on the stage. Candice can't believe she's standing after she hit her with brass knucks and busted her open. Shotzi gets on the mic, bloody, and says, "Candice, you and me at the next takeover in a first blood match." So this ends my part 1 of my fantasy booking, the NXT Women's Division 2020-2021. Hope you enjoyed part 1. Part 2, I will start. Here's another spoiler. Part 2, I will start with fantasy booking the women at NXT TakeOver in February. Let's say it happens on February 5th. The last NXT TV was at the end of January. Shotzi said she wants Candice First Blood at the next TakeOver. So February 5th, 2021, the next TakeOver is NXT TakeOver Revenge. Called Revenge because Shotzi wants revenge. So, bye for now, everybody. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.